Yeah, this is a race that is always in the summer, always this weekend in August. It is an iconic race, though, and the route is iconic, too, this 7-mile stretch.
Yeah, and it's hilly. That's what part of the competition they'll be facing out there this morning. All 10,000 runners is the not just the heat, but the hills that'll challenge them, as well as the competitors at their side. So there's a lot going on here on the streets, but in due time, we'll be cheering them into this finish line.
All right, we're going to have a lot of fun over the course of the next hour plus. Let's go now to the start line in Woods Hole. Tevin is there to give us a look at the weather and also how the runners are feeling as we get ready to race.
Okay, go ahead. Oh! Hi, Eli. Hi, Dina. Yes, the hype is high here. The temperatures are also high, and even more so high, the humidity is high. I want to thank the girls behind me, cheerleaders from Mashpee High School out volunteering today, along with some of their other classmates. Nearly 60 folks from Mashpee High School are volunteering, along with the Booster Club. You can see we are quite literally in the middle of all the action. The start line is right here, and it is about to go down in just a matter of, check my watch, in just about 3 minutes, we're actually going to have the singing of the national anthem and the playing of America the Beautiful. There are nearly 10,000 runners competing today in the 50th running of the Falmouth Road Race here in Falmouth, Massachusetts. One of those is Leah Unger with Girls for Uganda, and she actually is running your first or second marathon.
This is my first Falmouth Road Race.
Your first Falmouth Road Race. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you're deciding to run today?
I'm running for Girls for Child Voice Uganda, which is a fundraiser my sister and I started to raise money for a clinic, counseling center, and flushing toilets for a residential program that is run by Child Voice, a nonprofit that runs out of New Hampshire, and it totals up to $75,000.
Wow.
So we decided to raise money for them.
$75,000. How old are you, Leah?
I'm 12 years old.
You're 12 years old. You are doing most than a lot of people at the age of 12. Not only are you raising money for a great cause, but you are also running 7.1 miles today. Are you ready for it?
Yes, I'm really excited.
How have you prepared for the race today?
I have. I was on my track team, my town track team in spring, and the New Hampshire Granite State Track and Field. I was champion for the 400 and 800 meters. I've been cross-training, playing soccer and hiking, and training with my dad.
Leah, thank you so much for being out here today, and best of luck to you competing. I think you will do just fine.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's the situation. Leah's running today. About 9,999 other folks are competing today, and here's how it's going to start. We're actually going to start with the wheelchairs right around 8:30. First the men's and then the women's, and then we'll start to see the elite women's at 8:50, the elite men at 9, and then we'll start to see seated runners, and we'll duos closer to 9:03. The excitement is still building up to a highly anticipated race. I would argue and say perhaps one of the best, at least weather-wise, that we've had so far. Perhaps a little bit too warm or a little bit too humid for some. In fact, humidity right now closer to 90 to 100%. Temperatures right around 75 degrees. The dew points are up there as well. So it would be a tough go for the runners as they compete in the 50th running of the Asics Falmouth Road Race. Now here in just a little bit, we're going to have the singing of the national anthem by Nick Cage, and we're also going to have the playing of America the Beautiful, which was started right here in Falmouth, Massachusetts. But it is a gorgeous, gorgeous day today here in Falmouth and also down across portions of the Lower Cape and the Outer Cape too. I mean, you could just see the folks. All right, so after the singing of the national anthem in America the Beautiful, the next voice you will hear will be Nick Cage, and then we'll get back to Eli Rosenberg and Dina Castor from the finish line.
And now at this time, we're going to cue up America.
What are you thinking now ahead of the race?
Yeah, well, for me, you know, at the start of this race here, the nice things about this particular course is the actual course. The first 3 miles are very different than the last 4 miles. The course is actually beautiful. You got some wonderful hills. It's usually the trees cover the sun, and you're kind of racing through this almost like a roller coaster race. Really good for people that can climb, really good for people that like to go down hills fast. Then it comes down onto Surf Drive, and it's totally different course. Totally exposed to the elements and flat and
All right, well,
challenging.
thank you very much for your insight. It's going to be a great day.
Yep, thank you.
And now joining me on stage is Nick Page, a native of New Hampshire and lifelong visitor of Falmouth. He graduated from Boston College, where he was a 4-year member of the co-ed a cappella group, the Bostonians. He has sung the national anthem throughout the Boston area, including Boston Bruins, Boston Celtics, and the Boston Red Sox games. To sing our national anthem, Nick Page.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Nick Page, ladies and gentlemen. Nick will now be joining the masses in the crowd to run another Falmouth. Now, at this time, we would like to take a brief moment of silence to recognize and appreciate all of those Falmouth road racers who are not able to be with us this morning. Thank you very much. Joining with me now on stage is Dr. Andrew Judelson, the Chief Medical Officer at Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod, and he's going to be starting the wheelchair race in just a moment.
All right, so we're taking a live look there at the start line. Excitement is building. This is the 50th running of the Falmouth Road Race. Obviously a huge day down here.
And you were just talking to Craig Blanchett, 8-time winner of this race in the wheelchair division. So he knows a lot about tactics and what these wheelchair athletes are about ready to embark upon. 8:40 is the men's start, 8:43 followed by the women. And he was so fascinating to talk to today earlier in the VIP tent about those tactics that he used to use in winning here and really using the terrain to his advantage, and talking about making a left turn and just putting as much distance on the competition behind him. And really all the competitors will be using those similar tactics. So really fun to talk to Craig earlier today.
All right, so what are you looking for early on when we talk about the wheelchairs here, kicking off in about a minute here?
Yeah, you know, last night was the festival on the track, and to be able to see some of the wheelchair athletes, notably the winners, Daniel Romanchuk on the men's side, who has a 6'10" wingspan.
Whoa.
If you don't think that works to his advantage as he's pushing through the streets here, just an incredible force to be reckoned with. He won the mile last night at Falmouth High School, and Susanna Scaroni on the women's side, who's the American record holder in the marathon, but she has really just nailed these shorter distances. She is so fast and proved that on the track last night. So I'm looking at those two in both men's and women's races.
As we get ready now for this first wave, how much does he play a role here?
He definitely plays a role. I think it's all about heat management, maybe taking that race strategy and tailing it back a little bit, making sure your paces are manageable in the first few miles so that we're not overheating. We have great medical teams on the course today, but we hope not to use them. The official app that's being used for safety reasons is What 3 Words, which is 57 trillion combinations of words dividing the entire globe up into 3 square meters. So you could download that app right now, What 3 Words, and it'll find your location and give 3 words to pinpoint where you are. And it's really been a great emergency system that's used throughout Europe right now, and it's just taking to the United States.
Amazing as we continue to take a live look at Woods Hole, 7 miles away from where we are right now. This race is about to get started. always draws a great crowd as well when we talk about people gathering here at the start line and all along the route.
Yeah, Andrew Judelson will be starting the men's wheelchair race. And again, Daniel Romchuk is the two-time Paralympian. He won gold in the 800 meters. He has bronze medals to his name. He's the world record holder at 800 meters. And so he's really, throughout the year, they race in and out. You know, a lot of times runners, that pounding, they need time to recover. And the wheelchair athletes find themselves really traveling the globe weekend after weekend, but Falmouth is a favorite for a lot of them.
Looks like we're about to get underway here. They're clearing the course. We've mentioned a few times now this is the 50th Asics Falmouth road race. Guess how many runners the first year in 1973?
Oh boy,
Let's go with 92.
92.
Quite
wow.
a few more this year. They're
Yes.
capping at near 10,000 this year who are going to be running this race. And you'll be able to watch all of them across the finish line here on this field. You look at this hill here as you stretch down right to the finish line right there. That's when you know you made it right there.
Yes, but don't let this deceive you. You'd think like a downhill push to the finish would be welcoming. It is hard on tired legs to be running down a steep hill this severe, but that finish line certainly welcomes them.
All right, we're about to get underway here. You can see the excitement, the fans that have lined up, gotten here nice and early. Here we go.
Up, off, and away we go. The race now officially
They're off.
underway.
Also in this race is Herman Garrick, who won last year. He's our defending champion, so see if some of the knowledge from last year will help him navigate this challenging course today.
I think it's interesting when you talked about talking with Craig this morning about just how much strategy goes into this. It's not just speed. You have to always be thinking every stretch of the course.
Yes, and a lot of these wheelchair racers, they try to perfect anything from 800 meters all the way up to the marathon distance. So everything in between. You look for their cadence and how they're attacking those hills. Are they fatigued yet? Women are going to be going in just 2 minutes.
What are you looking for in this field?
You know, the great Tatiana McFadden. She is just really a pioneer in the wheelchair distances. She is a mentor to so many coming up in the ranks today. She's a 20-time Paralympic medalist, and
just talked about how hot and humid it always
extraordinary to be at this high level for so many years, completely dominating. And she's 5 times won every single Abbott World Marathon major at the marathon distance. That is winning Tokyo and London and Berlin and Boston and Chicago and New York City, back to back to back to back to back. Just extraordinary athleticism.
What is the mindset when we talk about going 7 miles as opposed to running a marathon here? It's not a 5K, obviously, and it's not 26.2. It's 7 miles. So what's your mentality here for the kind of race?
You know, I think for a lot of them, it's an all-out race for prize money, at least. If you're a professional in this field, 7 miles is practically a sprint, and you really have to have that mental game of not fearing getting to that place of fatigue and continuing to hammer past that discomfort, having a new relationship with pain than most of us do. And it's really fascinating to hear what these professionals really push through in any given day. You have to do it first in training in order to be able to do it in the race itself, and they are just extraordinary at that mental game. They rise up above that discomfort mile after mile in order to give their best that day. We have about 30 seconds until the start of this women's race.
And you can see all those people lined up behind here. It really is a great field of runners, but also a great crowd. When you're running, what does the crowd do for you? Does it lift you up as you're going through on the course?
The crowd is everything. And there go the women's wheelchair athletes. They are off on their 7-mile journey to this finish line. But the crowds are everything. When you get inside your own head and it's not necessarily giving you good feedback, it's the crowds you draw upon, that encouragement. And it could be even shouting for the person next to you, and you just take that encouragement and run with it. And really using everything around you as inspiration is what this course has to offer. It's the crowds, it's the scenery, it's the history and the footsteps that you're falling in behind and making that race historic in that year. So much riding on the shoulders of all 10,000 of the runners today.
All right, as we continue to take a live look here at the finish line, we should be seeing those winners come here on the first wave in the next couple of minutes, come over that hill underneath the massive flag that has joined us here at the finish line, and then cross the finish line On a beautiful day here, a warm day here in Falmouth, and you can see some of the crowds that have lined up here along the 7-mile course. It really does bring out the entire community on a Sunday morning in
And
the
I'm
summer.
not going to lie, Eli, when that flag went up, I choked up like, please don't throw to us right now. I've got a lump in my throat. It was so spectacular to see that team of people that it took to raise this flag in the respected way it was this morning. So it's flying over us now, offering us a little bit of shade when the breeze is right. But what a sight the runners are going to get when they come up and over this hill and are lured by that flag first and then the finish line behind it.
All right, so 93 runners, as you guessed correctly, of course, back in 1973. And this is the first year we're really back to close to what it usually is in that 10 to 12,000 range after, of course, the pandemic altered things. Just seeing runners back, you're in the running community, just to see people gathering here to run. What does that feel like?
Right, and you know, it's so much bigger than that. It's the community, right? It's the community that gets to showcase. It's the very best of itself every year, and that goes away. It's the tourism and all those dollars that are missed when the restaurants and shops aren't being bombarded by runners and the families and entourage that they bring with them. So they're suffering in a big way, and the millions that are raised in charity at this event alone every year, $5.7 million raised. That is extraordinary. That goes back into the schools. That goes back into the health and wellness of the community. And so it's really extraordinary to have this race back and be able to showcase it at its finest.
So we're under a minute now to the women's wave here at the start line. You're at the start line. What are you thinking right now?
Yeah, about being as calm as possible, breathing in confidence and security and faith in what you're about to undertake, and breathing out all that insecurity and doubt that might be festering inside. So it's all about the mindset right now, getting ready, using as little energy as possible in that first mile of the race so that you can find your rhythm, and then start getting more intense as the miles go on.
All right, so we're getting ready for the women's wave here, 50th running of the Asics Falmouth Road Race here. A lot of excitement up and down the course, and you can see how many runners are ready to go here. Everyone eager to get this race underway as we talk about the women's wave that is about to start here any minute now. They've cleared the course. We got the fans here. We got everything ready to go, and we're just waiting for this women's wave to kick off. What about this part of the summer? Not a lot of road races, a lot obviously in the spring and a lot in the fall and the winter here, but this really holds its mark in the calendar for when it is in August here. And it really is a special time on the Cape, here in Falmouth, and of course along the route.
Yeah, it's the close of the summer season here, so it's a way to really celebrate and honor the fruits that summer brings the community, but also for the professional athletes, it's the launch of their fall racing season. A lot of them are getting ready for fall races, fall marathons. Edna Kippelgott is in the race. She's the defending champion. She'll be running the New York City Marathon later this summer, so this is a good test and a good breakup in their training to see how it's going.
Plus, who doesn't like to spend the summer training?
Right, right. Early mornings, is that what everybody sees? Getting up early in the morning, sometimes even before coffee, to get in their runs before the sun is too high in the sky.
And obviously, we have a special starter here, Jenny Tuthill, who has significance with this race, who will be starting this race in her role back in 1973. What does she mean for the running community?
She is a pioneer, to say the least. And talking with her at the press conference this weekend, she said this is a race in caring. And that really touched me because it made me think about all of the lives that this sport changes. Dave McGilvery of Dempsey, the race director of the Boston Marathon, but also this great race, he said that he considers this race, he's a caretaker for it, and he doesn't claim any ownership over it. He leaves that to the people in due respect. So really unbelievable person. He said that every person that crosses that finish line is enhanced because of it, and that's what drives him every day. So incredible words from a wise man who knows a thing or two about directing races, and to know that he's a part of changing the lives of the people running today is really extraordinary.
Well, let's not sell it short. Jenny is starting it and also running it.
Yes, yes. We're taking a look at the wheelchair race. This is the women. I think that is Susanna Scaroni in front. Again, she won the mile race just last night, so she got her her arms wet a little bit. Her turnover looks just as gorgeous. She broke the world record at the BAA 10K this past summer, so she's in good sprint shape. This is the perfect distance for her coming off of that record.
All right, we are seconds from the elite women starting us off here at the start line in Woods Hole. 7 miles to the finish line here, and you said right now there's a calm as they get ready to really tear up this course.
Yeah, don't let their soft faces fool you. Second to the left is Kira D'Amato. She just broke my American record in the marathon this January. She's in this race hot off, and they're
Jenny
off.
Suthill, our
Kira D'Amato is fresh off an 8th place finish at the World Championships this summer. Also in the race, Molly Seidel, bronze medalist from the Olympic Games last year. We have Olympians and past champions. This race is packed. Jenny Tuthill, who started them off, will be filing in and joining the masses after the women.
So in a 7-mile run, what's your strategy, mile 1?
Mile 1, this is slightly uphill, so this is a challenging way to start a 7-mile journey, to be faced with a hill right off the bat, and it really sets the tone for what this race is.
How do you feel about getting a live look on the course? Let's go to the women's truck for an update on how things are going on the course. All right, we'll check in on the truck in a minute here, but you can see them make that turn right now as they really fast pace here.
It is. They did get out aggressively, and it looks like, I can't tell if that's Edna Kiplagat, our former champion, that's out in front looking to make this an honest race.
Where would you like to be in the pack right here, early in the race?
I'd like to be in the front of the chase pack. You know, I don't want to be leading at this point. I think it's a little too aggressive. I'd like to be feeling out the competition a little bit more, looking around, seeing who looks good, who looks in distress already in these early miles.
So what percent would you be at running?
At this point, I'd say you're at 70%
Really?
of what your possibility is. You know, you can get out aggressively and make it honest from the start. It looks like in the pink on the right of the screen is Fente Belene, and she won the Ethiopian National Championships in the 5,000 meters earlier this year, but earlier this month won Joan Benoit Samuelson's Beach to Beacon race up in Maine. So we have a really star-studded field here on the women's side.
This race does attract very big names in the racing community.
It really does, and when you listened to the legends this weekend, whether it be Frank Shorter or Bill Rogers or Joan Benoit Samuelson, they are talking about Marty LaCouri, the great miler, and having this long summer of racing over in Europe, only to find themselves in Falmouth, getting in one last bite of racing before taking a break with nothing to lose, but having a great race here.
All right, let's now take another live look at the women's course and get an update from the women's truck.
All right, good morning. Good morning, Eli. Good morning, Dina. We've got nothing exciting right now. Everybody just looks to be feeling themselves. In the Kurgat, Mariel Hall, both at the front. Pace is honest, but you know, all the contenders are there. Kira D'Amato right to the outside. Everybody looking to kind of take those tangents right now. Nobody really wants to push the pace early, you know, kind of feel things out. We have two now, got a big main pack, and we've got a second group off the back.
On the race website
So
in a
fast
day or
right
so.
there,
at
a little problem
Marathon.
with the signal.
Right, the truck's having a hard time keeping up with those women, and it looked like Mariel Hall, a U.S. Olympian, she's an 8-time All-American, and on the 10,000 meter, I think she's 8th on the 10,000 meter all-time list. So this is a good distance for her too. When you look at 10K or 7 miles, being relatively similar in distance. But she was 8th at the World Championships. She's a 15K national champion from the United States, and she's the one out front pushing the pace.
So what you saw there is pretty typical for that point of the race.
It definitely is, and we'll see it strung out. Probably after a few more hills get under their legs, we'll see the race string out a little more.
Very exciting time as we are now waiting the elite men's start in about 3 minutes here. It is also a star-studded field when we talk about the men running today.
Yeah, past champions. We have our defending champion, Ben Flanagan, who is looking to defend his title. We have past champions and Olympians and U.S. record holders. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And that's what Falmouth brings year in and year out. But for the 50th anniversary, we're going to bring you something special.
And talking about the 50th anniversary, we also have a special starting gun on the men's side when we talk about Dave Duba.
Yeah, Dave, and to be here, I mean, to see how good and fit they still look after all this time, both Dave and Jenny being here, being the inaugural winners of this race, coming back year after year, but having something more to celebrate here at 50 years, both of them running, and just so extraordinary to see them back and give kudos to a race that did so much for their careers, and Jenny doing so much for women's distance running.
And just like Jenny, Dave will be doing the starting gun, and then is also running.
Also running, and we look back at the women's race, and all the contenders that you would assume in the race are there. I see in the back of the pack is actually Nikki Hiltz, who won the women's mile last night on the track. She's here. I thought maybe she would just be in it for a joyride and to look at Falmouth scenery, but she looks like she's giving it her all.
And this live look is giving people all over from Charlestown to Charleston a view of this iconic course. It really is a beautiful way to spend a Sunday morning, isn't it?
Yes, and we hate to lose our viewers, but if you are seeing this and feel inclined to do this yourself, this is Falmouth at its best.
Not to mention you have the beach at the finish line.
Yes, the beach and the inaugural jumping in the ocean afterwards. That happens here. There's a beer garden and there's the ocean. So between those two.
What more incentives do you need?
Right.
All right, so we have the men lining up here. They will be get starting any minute now. Excitement is building for all those 10,000 people behind them who are getting ready to run this race as soon as the men kick off. So a lot of excitement here and really great crowds this year as well.
Always great crowds here at Falmouth, and when the weather is this beautiful, it's nice to have everyone come out of their homes and ring their cowbells for the runners as they go by. Along with Ben Flanagan, our defending champion, looking to upset him is Leonard Career, who won this race back in 2019. He's fit and ready. Bias Mbasa will also be looking out for. He was second here last year, so a lot of times when you're defeated by such a small margin, they now know that Ben is really good in these final stages of the hills that this race confronts them with. Bias Mbasa said, "I'm on to you this time. I'm not going to let it happen a second time."
How much does experience play? You mentioned winning the race. Just running a course and knowing a course versus running it for the first time. How much does experience help?
Well, for a lot of athletes, they like that experience, and that experience builds year after year. But if you talk to legend Joan Benoit Samuelson, who defies all of that, she says she never likes to see the race ahead of time. She likes to experience it on race day. So it's probably a personal preference, but I think experience does come into play when you're looking at those late in the state. Maybe Joan was just dominating by so much years ago.
When you're that good.
Yeah, that it didn't really matter. So it does play into your strategy. We're looking at the women's wheelchair race again, and it's just Susanna Scaroni out in front and no one behind her.
What do you make of this?
I mean, it's just domination, and to be out here in front and dominating against other athletes who are also in the top of this sport is quite impressive. Let's go to the women's lead wheelchair truck and see what you have to say.
Lead woman wheelchair through mile 4. Susanna Scaroni and a cloud of dust behind her. Susanna Scaroni, lead male wheelchair through mile 4. Lead female, I'm sorry.
There it is, with dust behind her. That's nice. I think it's sand and dust. Beach
yes,
sand and dust. But I think the grasses are blowing in her wake for sure.
So they tell us 2 minutes till the men's elite get kicked off here as we see another live look at Woods Hole, 7 miles down the road from where we are here, close to the finish line. What are they thinking right now as they get ready?
Yeah, I think they get inspired by watching the races go off in front of them, but I think what I love about the getting closer to the masses is feeling that energy behind you, right? The women kind of have this solo journey in front of them, but when you're standing with 10,000 people behind you, you can feel that energy and feel that buzz, and you can't help but carry it with you off that starting line.
Like I asked you for the women's, what are you looking early on from the men's elites?
I'm guessing it's going to be pretty similar. Everyone's going to be kind of feeling it out and seeing the competition and looking around and really reading the crowd around them and doing a little more self-assessing after the first couple miles. And that's when the strategies really start to come into play, when the paces start to crank down and the leaders emerge.
Every minute, we're less than a minute from the start of the men's here. Every minute, though, it gets a little warmer on that course for these men. I'm sure they just want to kick off and get running.
It is. The sun's a little higher, and it looks like yesterday when I was out for a run and got to share a few miles with the great Joan Benoit Samuelson, there would have been a tailwind. Today, it's a little more of a headwind, which might sound like a challenge, but it also helps keep you cool. So I think a little bit of that breeze is going to help them in the heat today.
All right, as we get ready to watch the men elite, again, Dave Duba will be starting off this race here. It is going to be exciting to see what happens here as we have people on the course now, and we're going to watch the men elite take off here in just about 15 seconds here. They're all setting their watches and getting ready.
And they're off. Here they go. The men's professional field is stacked as greatly as the women's is, and the masses line up behind them, antsy and ready to go. A large lead pack here to celebrate 50 years of the Asics Falmouth Road Race.
And you mentioned that hill early on. It really lets you know you're in a race, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and you just see that it takes a little more power to get up it, right? The horn blows and they're off, and it looks so fluid and poetic, and then the hill comes immediately in their face, and they go to their arms, driving a little harder. So the men all look good at this point, and a lot of yellow jerseys.
So you said you'll be watching Ben, Leonard, Frank, etc.
Yes. Ben True is no stranger to the Asics Falmouth Road Race. He finished second in 2013, so he's been at this quite a while, but he has 5 national championship titles under his belt, so he's a great championship style runner.
So all the excitement has been at the start line, obviously, but I'm told we're about a minute or two from seeing our first winner cross the finish line here. Definitely we'll get a loud cheer from the crowd who's gathered here at the finish line as we watch other runners here get ready as well.
Yes, we celebrate the 4-minute mile. Last night at the mile races, there was 6 men that ran under 4 minutes in the mile. But then you look at the wheelchair athletes. Here comes a lead police car. They're running closer to 3-minute miles.
I think we are on the verge of seeing our first winner come down the hill here and cross that finish line, and that's when we know we're really getting things going here in Falmouth.
Yes, and the crowds are great, and I'm sure you will all put your hands together as Susanna Scaroni comes screaming down this hill.
A lot of excitement here. Great crowds at the finish line, and you see some of those shots from our trucks on the course that people have really lined up nice and early here to root everyone on as we may get our first look. Here we go.
There. Oh yeah, this is Daniel Romanchuk. Congratulations, Daniel. Just another impressive win for Daniel Romanchuk.
How great was that? Sped right past us, almost a blur there.
Unbelievable.
Now,
again, his wingspan is 6 feet 10 inches. It's very typical that your wingspan is also your height, but he defies that, Daniel. But he defies a lot on this planet.
It's like us with our arms stretched, both of us together there at 6'10".
Right.
As we watch other runners here get ready on a beautiful Sunday morning here in Falmouth, setting their watches. This is a great feed because everyone, no matter where you are, can watch someone. If you know someone running this race through the course of the morning, you'll be able to watch them run this course from start to finish. A lot of excitement, and it's great to see so many runners on the course.
And they're off. The masses are off. And so everyone here at the finish line able to cheer on their favorite runner all morning long. be on the lookout for them on the Jumbotron, but also as they cross this finish line. It is truly a heroic, heroic morning for each and every one of these people. And everybody is running with a different purpose. Some people are running for their health. Some people are running to raise money for charity. Some people are running because it's just what they did here growing up. They ran this race every year, from starting in their strollers to getting it in that first year as a teenager. And it really has become a tradition here in the Cape.
Obviously, you're usually in the front of the pack when you do these races, but how great was it knowing there'd be so many people behind you who wanted to run that race as well?
You know, the best thing is being able to cross that finish line and feel the tape break across your chest. And I used to think that year after year, and I have changed my mind after so many years in this sport, that the best place to be is at the finish line and seeing the masses come in, because again, it's just the purpose that everyone runs with, to be in a sport that these pros who make a living out of doing this are running the same course as somebody who's running maybe their first Falmouth road race, their first road race in general. And to be able to follow in those footsteps. I can be on the basketball court with LeBron James all day long and never know what it's like to live in LeBron James' big shoes. But in running, we have this commonality. We can relate to one another. We go through the ups and downs. We feel the elation of crossing those finish lines, or even getting in a good training run. And how you can check that off your list every morning before a lot of people are even up and out of bed. And it really does transform lives in such a big, bold way.
Not to mention, if you just wanted to run, there's easier courses. There's easier races than the Falmouth Road Race.
There are easier races, but there are no better races. This truly is an iconic sporting event. And when you look at what it's meant to people around the globe and the prestige that this race has brought. Running Times magazine once compiled a ranking of America's 10 most iconic running events, and Falmouth was number 5, ahead of the New York City Marathon. Sports Illustrated featured 25 summer essentials to do, and Falmouth was a must-do. Here comes Susanna Scaroni getting ready to come down the hill. The rest of the wheelchair men. Congratulations, gentlemen.
You can hear the crowd cheering over there. We know something's happening, and we're going to see it on the finish line soon.
More wheelchair racers coming in. Excellent journey.
And just a minute ago, we had that triple box showing you different parts of the courses. Here we go. You can tell it's hot out there. Just looking at these.
It's hot, and navigating some of these turns when their turnover and cadence is so fast, navigating these turns can be quite challenging.
If we could pull up that triple box we had just a minute ago, it was a great vantage point of the men's lead, women's lead, and wheelchair lead, really showing you different parts of the course. You see the men's lead there on the left and the women's lead on the right there, and you see how beautiful and really diverse this course is in terms of the terrain.
Yeah, and you know, it may look like when they're running by the ocean that sun is pelting on them, but there is a breeze coming off the ocean, which is offering some relief. So don't feel too sorry for them.
And you ran a little bit of the course yesterday?
I did run some of the course yesterday. It's always fun to get a perspective, but then it changes, right? It was a tailwind yesterday. It's a headwind today. So much for trying to do some homework yesterday.
And this morning, a heavy fog here in Falmouth. There was a haze, but it burned off just in time for race day. And now we have a beautiful sun. Not much of a breeze as you look at the flag here behind us, though, but just enough.
Just enough to cool things off, get the edge off. Here goes another wave of runners.
And as we look at all these runners, a lot of them are running for nonprofits. There are 3,500 charity fundraising. That's a lot of money that goes into the local community, 183 different Massachusetts-based nonprofits that benefit from these runners. So it really is a win for so many people across the board today.
Everybody wins here. It's not just those who cross the finish line first. Everybody wins. People are running for charity, but the Asics Falmouth Road Race also gives back so much to the community with the funds that they bring in.
$5.7 million. That's nothing to sneeze at when we talk about the benefit to the community here and the nonprofits that benefit not only here in Falmouth but across Massachusetts. It really is shaping up, we are told, to be a great year for nonprofits and fundraising. So it really goes to the dedication of these runners.
And here comes Susanna Scaroni, our female winner. Put your hands together. Congratulations, Susanna. It's her first time here at Falmouth, so we were talking about whether experience matters. Apparently not when you're that
exactly.
good.
No one even behind her here, and she was blazing all the way to the finish line.
Right, and so back to the charity dollars, almost $50 million raised since 2000. These are big numbers.
As we see yet another wave, obviously with near 10,000 runners, they leave in different waves here across the course. Everyone getting a chance though to cross that start line and get their run started here on a beautiful Sunday morning.
Here we are at the women's lead. In the front is Fente Belene. She just won Beach to Beacon, and we will throw it to the women's lead truck to hear what you have to say.
What
Give
do you
us
see
more.
out there, Eric?
What I see is Edna Kurgat has been doing a lot of the work this whole race. The tangents she is taking are a little bit odd to me. You see, if the other side, you have Cara D'Amato, you have Edna Kiplagat, you have DeGaffa, you have Belena. They're running in a nice line, buffering that wind, but Edna Kurgat's doing a lot of extra work out here. They're coming through the 4 mile right now at 20:36, so that was another 5:09 mile. So it looks like your winner is going to come from this pack. And I'll send it back to you, Eli and Dina.
All right, we're watching another late. If we could pull up the women's lead again here, that camera showing the women here. What do you see here, and what are you making of what is on the course?
Yeah, it's interesting that Kurgat is kind of distancing herself from that pack. A lot of times you want to work together to expend as little energy as possible, but she's taking anti-tangents. Tangents are running the turn so that you're running the shortest possible distance. That's pretty important over a 7-mile race.
Right?
You don't want this to
No
be
extra footsteps.
7.2 miles. Yes, and so I find it interesting that she is going against the pack there. But Cara D'Amato now in the lead. She is the American record holder at the marathon distance, fresh off 8th place at the World Championships, and she's fit. You could think she has tired legs from that marathon, but her training is posted on Strava, and we see that she just came back and was able to continue putting in that work. On her heels is defending champion Edna Kiplagat. Edna is 2-time world champion at the marathon distance. She's the Boston Marathon champion, the London Marathon champion, the New York City Marathon champion.
Look at this massive crowd here. The runners taking off from the start line at Woods Hole, making their journey here. Eric told us the women are past the 4-mile mark. How does your mentality and your mindset change from where you were at the mile one?
Yeah, and I think we just saw it. Kira pushing the pace from the United States, pushing the pace because she's running out of real estate, right? It's the finish line is luring them, and she doesn't want it to be a kicker's race. She wants to drag this out and make it honest. Strength is in her favor, and so she wants to make it a strong race to the finish. She doesn't want to leave it to the end.
How hard is it to be the lead runner?
It's very personal. A lot of people can lead from behind, kind of be the alpha in a pack and let everybody else do the work, and other athletes like to see the road in front of them and run a little scared. Craig Blanchett this morning, when I was talking to him, the 8-time wheelchair champion here at Falmouth, said that he loved to just open up that stretch and then just hold on to that lead, and it's kind of like a fear-based mindset. And so having that lead and wanting to distance yourself, because once you get that lead, you can't get caught, right?
No way.
It's just like, it's an ego thing. It's an ego-driven basis. Bring in these wheelchair athletes. Wow, they are just flying into this finish line.
So we got a split screen here, men's lead on your left, women's lead on your right. What do you make of what you see from the men's?
The men's side, I actually cannot, with the sun glare, I can't see who our leader is. I can't even tell, but it is getting strung out much earlier than the women's race did. So again, same conditions, but the races now are just starting to play out a little differently in these middle miles.
It's great to see all the crowds, especially as you look at the women's lead camera there on the right, who have joined this course here, stretched out, of course, over the 7 miles here as we get another live look at both the men's and women's lead here on the course. The women have to be approaching 5 miles at this point.
Yeah, and maybe even a little past the 5-mile mark, and it looks like it's down to Kira D'Amato and Edna Kiplagat. So 2 women with great credentials. The race is far from over, but it looks like these are the 2 that are going to be fighting for that finish.
So in that case, when we look at the women's lead here, you'd like to be number 1 at this point in the race.
And at the end.
And at the end. Good point, good point.
But Edna's actually in a really good spot. She's just sitting on Kira D'Amato's shoulder and letting Kira do the work, designate the pace, and maybe conserving as much energy as possible so that she could use it in this finishing stretch, because Edna knows this course so well.
Sometimes experience helps, sometimes it doesn't even matter.
Yes. And even the men, you can see they're kind of all over the course, right? Some of them taking tangents and the rest going wide, and I'm not really sure why that is. Sometimes you see that it's for a water station, which would be important on a day like today, making sure you're grabbing fluids along the way.
Let's go to the men's truck and get a live look and a live update from the course.
That has really struck out hard after Frank Lara from Houston, Texas had the early lead. So things playing out early. There's a part of me that thinks that they're afraid of the kick of Ben Flanagan, who's won this race in the latter stages in 2018 and 2021.
And Tony,
they're trying to take the kick out of Ben Flanagan, but he's holding in. Bet doing the leading.
Tony, that's David Bett in the lead.
To Falmouth Road Race.
So David Bett was 5th here in 2019.
As we take another turn here. Really is a beautiful course here. See the ocean there as they cruise.
So we're talking about experienced David Bett, 5th here in 2019, but behind him and looking like everyone is queuing off of defending champion Ben Flanagan. They know he is a smart racer, taking the hills and really pushing on the hills to distance himself from the crowd late in the race last year. He's an NCAA champion at 10,000 meter. He met his wife here in Falmouth. They're now engaged, I think, to be married next year.
This race bringing people together.
Yes, indeed.
When you're running a race like this, how much do you remember of the course? Or are you so locked in on the running and the other runners? Is it all just a blur?
I think the course is part of what you're trying to conquer. So the course is so important. It's the weather conditions, which is something we have to obsess about late in the game. But the course and the competition is what you prepare for. And then as race day approaches, you obsess about the weather a little bit, and all of those come into play. Your pack, a lot of people run in training groups, and so knowing what people you typically train with, the paces you train at in training, help you gauge where you are for the masses even. So it is all coming into play on race day, and it's your job to manage all that information and be your best.
As we look at the women's lead, it looks like the same situation as it was last time we checked in here.
Yes, Kira D'Amato and Edna Kiplagat. Edna's looking over her shoulder, which I'm not sure is a great sign. She wants to know, do I have second place locked in, or is she looking at someone on her shoulder to take the victory that she feels that she can get here today?
Before, when I asked you, you were running at 70%. Now, are you 100?
Now you're redlining. Yeah, this is all about rising up above that fatigue. This is the moment where champions are made, and it is so exciting to be at this point in the race, because this is what you train for. This is the part you get to in a race where you have to make those hard decisions. Like, am I going to throw in the towel and jog it in, or am I going to drop the hammer and keep going? So it is a fun place to be, especially if you have the confidence.
A lot of smiles here as we look at another group cross that start line and get ready to go. Nearly 10,000 people have signed up for the race this year. It's awesome to see all these crowds. Many of them have been waiting for hours now at that start line just for the chance to go. And so you see a lot of excitement there. Look at how many people have turned out on this beautiful Sunday.
Yes, and Woods Hole is not an easy place to get to on Falmouth road race morning, right? All of these athletes had to be bussed in to Woods Hole early this morning while the fog was still very thick, and as the fog layer burned off and the sun rose in the sky, the waves continue to go.
And it's awesome to see no matter who you are, if you're an elite or you're just a regular runner, you're still greeted by the same enthusiasm from the crowd that is gathered here along the route.
Absolutely, and you can see how thick the crowds are in the men's elite field. It looks like David Bett from Kenya is looking to just run away with
He's really
this
separated
race.
himself, hasn't he?
He has, and usually at this angle, the competitors look a little closer than they actually are. So he's opened up quite a lead. Can we throw it to Tony for more from him? Tony Revis is our legendary commentator and so knowledgeable.
5-second advantage. We'll see if he can hold on to it.
You're right. The angles are deceiving. He really does have quite a lead right there, doesn't he?
Yeah, 5 seconds, Tony said. And Tony, if you can hear, okay, if Tony can let us know who is behind David Bett and what that battle looks like.
All right, as we continue to take a live look here at the men's lead, you hear all the crowds cheering there as they pass by them. And we looked at the women's before, and I'm told they're at the 5.5-mile mark. So pretty soon here, we're going to see the women crest that hill right here and come down to the finish line.
Yeah, so Kira D'Amato and Edna Kiplagat is a two-woman show right now, and this is really the flattest section of the course, but there are hills that await them. The last mile is quite challenging, especially on tired legs, not just the uphill, but this downhill also when your legs have been beat up, especially if you're Kira D'Amato coming off of the World Championships marathon just earlier this month.
You see they're taking the water, they're pouring on them. Obviously a hot day here in Falmouth. No time to drink, but a little cool off right there.
Yes, and anything to cool off. Your hands and wrists and the top of your head are the best way to dissipate heat. So if you can get some cool water on the top of your head and your wrist, it does cool the body temperature. Even if it's just by a fraction of a degree, it's going to help.
And this is the men's lead here.
Men's lead, it's still David Bett in front with a chase pack that looks to include our former champion, defending champion, Ben Flanagan, Leonard Career, who won here in 2019, Frank Lara, who's the 2020 15K national champion, ran a great Houston marathon in his debut this year. Baya Simbasa was second here last year, so looking to redeem himself, but he was last year's USA Road Runner Circuit champion, 7th in 10,000 meters at the Olympic trials. So this is just a star-studded field, and it looks like David used this turn to look over his shoulder to see what and where his competition is.
He has to be feeling good as he continues to open up quite a lead here.
Yeah, and it looks like it's more than 5 seconds now. So opening that lead as opposed to that chase pack closing in on him.
You're a legend. You've had quite a few leads in your time. What are you thinking about as you have that lead behind you, but know you still have a lot of work left to do?
I love running scared. To me, that's a really, it's a motivating feeling. It keeps my adrenaline seeping out, so it gives me some extra energy to run with, and to try to keep that lead is not easy, but it's certainly worth the effort. And it's always that thing from being 11 years old and being out in the front and saying, well, now that I have this lead, I can't let them catch me now. Well, that would look so weird. My mom would be shriveled in the stadium. So it is a fun way to run. But also the chase pack behind them, they might be opening up too much of a gap to make any difference in this later stages of the race.
So you're saying even with the lead, you're still going pedal to the metal?
Yeah, and I really don't think that the chase pack can make it up at this point. And even if David is going to fade a little in the final couple of miles, I'm not sure it's enough to make up that distance.
Over shoulder again. And I'm told the women are going to be cresting the hill here in a minute. You'll see it right here on your screen as the crowds have continue to gather here on a warm day in Falmouth for the Asics Falmouth road race
Yes,
here.
and will these women come over the hill 2 by 2, or are they going to have a gap here? We're looking to see either defending champion Edna Kiplagat or American record holder in the marathon, Kira D'Amato. There's our lead vehicle, so they are close.
What are you looking for as we talk about the women cresting the hill here?
They're giving it all they have right now. Whoever comes over this hill, crest this hill in the lead, we're also going to see teeth. But we're going to need you crowds to bring them in, because this is their last-ditch effort.
You can see all the crowds that have gathered here behind us here on a beautiful day here in Falmouth. The finish line obviously right over our shoulder. We're expecting the women to cross any minute now as they crest the hill here. That last stretch, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, most of our wheelchair athletes have just torn down this hill. It was so exciting to see them, and now we're waiting for the female finishers to come in, and there's just so much to celebrate here. But to be able to crown a new champion in the 50th celebration is, the anticipation is killing me.
So you, when you're racing and you're 200 yards from the finish line and you can see it, your mentality is just 1 foot?
I think it's just drawing in that finish line as fast as possible, kind of using it like a pulley system, like we saw this beautiful flag go up earlier today. It's just drawing you near, and you realize you can't leave anything behind, whether you're first place or 101st place or 1,000 in first place. That finish line, giving your best, is where the gratification comes from. And so this stretch, we're going to see a lot of effort throughout the entire morning, because this is when people get to use up that last little bit of energy that they might have been saving for the finish.
Especially when these races are sometimes decided by a second less.
Yes, and that's what makes you realize when your personal best is 100th of a second away, how important everything is, from hydrating to running the tangents to taking on the cheers from the spectators on the side of the road. It's all important. So getting it right, it never feels perfect, but we strive to get it right.
Here we go. What do you see?
And it is American record holder Kira D'Amato, who has separated herself from the defending champion.
Here she comes. Look at her go.
Kira D'Amato, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands up. Kira D'Amato, you are the 50th anniversary Asics Falmouth Road Race champion. Defending champion, right behind her, Edna Kiplagat. Edna Kiplagat will be running the New York City Marathon later this year, so good luck, Edna.
As they hug right there at the finish line. Obviously a great race.
And a great race for Mariel Hall, Olympian, finishing so strong, followed by Fente Belene, fresh off her Beach to Beacon win. What a race for these ladies. Sarah Ingalls coming down in the white hat. We missed that decisive move that Kira D'Amato must have made over Edna Kiplagat to
She
pull
really did
into
open
the
up
lead.
a gap, didn't she, there at the last mile?
An incredible lead.
What do we have right here as we take a look at the men's lead truck here?
Unbelievable on the men's side. It's Ben Flanagan who has closed that gap. That's why you can't predict these things. I said the gap was too big to be taken, but there it is. Ben Flanagan, our defending champion, said, "Oh no, you don't. This race is mine, and I'm going to make you work for it, David Bett."
No lead is safe, apparently.
And it doesn't look like anyone else in the field went with Ben Flanagan when he made that move. As we celebrate the cheers at the finish line, more women streaming in. We have past champions, Olympians making their way to the finish line. The men's race is really getting hot.
You may see a clock on your screen right here counting down 224, 223. This is a run differential. Explain this to us.
That's right. Yes, the run differential started right when Kira D'Amato crossed that finish line, and this is really a race within a race. It's the women against the men. And Put your hands together for Karina Velhoun of the Asics Mammoth Track Club. She was third in the mile race yesterday, making her way to the finish line, 38:42 for Karina Velhoun. And this differential is really to have a more fun dynamic come into play. So $5,000 go. If the men can cross the finish line before this countdown timer is up, then the winner of the men's race will get that $5,000 bonus. And if they fall short of that, then Kira D'Amato will get that $5,000 bonus.
So this is a race within the race right here as we continue to watch 90 seconds here as the men approach. Another little game here to see, and the $5,000 and winning the race, that's a pretty good Sunday.
It's a good Sunday. That'll pay for brunch for sure.
As we continue to take a live look here at the course, some of the women's elite continue to cross down. And we look at the finish line here.
Yes, already across the finish line is 2015 Falmouth road race champion Diane McCory. She is an Asics athlete, so great to see her perform so well here year after year.
Really battling out on a tough course on a hot day here, but not letting up at all. We're down to 45 seconds in this run differential.
45 seconds, and I don't see a men's lead vehicle yet, so it looks like here D'Amato might win this challenge. But we're looking over the hill in hopes to see Ben Flanagan and David Bett give Kira a run for her money.
And if we could pull up the men's lead truck and get a look at how that race is shaping up, because the last time we checked in with them, Ben had made a move. We'll get that truck to you in a second here as we continue to look down the hill here and across the finish line in Falmouth. There we go, beautiful day.
So many gathering here at the finish line to cheer on family members and friends. It is a family affair here, a community event that gets to happen year after year, brings so many resources to this community to pay for parks and to pay for tracks being resurfaced and for health care.
And of course, let's take this moment now to talk about the hundreds and hundreds of volunteers who really make this race go. We've seen them all morning here. Crack at dawn, they were up here getting this race set up. It really is amazing to see these volunteers turn out, and they really are the ones who make this race happen.
Yes, over 2,000 volunteers showing up. When we showed up this morning, everything was already erected. The finish line, the music was already playing, and to see how much goes into even raising this flag. There was more than a dozen people helping raise this flag above the finish line. So it really is.
It comes back to that sense of community, right? Not only the volunteers and the runners and the people who open up their homes along the course for fans to come. It really does bring everyone together on a Sunday morning in the summer.
Yes, and to mention that all of these professional athletes are actually staying with host families. So thank you, host families out there, opening up your homes to all of these runners. It's different than any other race where you're typically in a hotel and you're sitting in your hotel watching television with your feet up all day. You get to really live the Falmouth summer lifestyle by being here, going on picnics, going out on the boat, being in the park all day, being at the races yesterday.
It's a weekend, from the expo on Friday to everything you mentioned on Saturday to the race on Sunday.
Yes, it's a carnival.
And then the party that soon follows.
That soon follows and never ends.
So take us into your experience having run the race here. Now you're back there. What happens next after the race? A little behind the scenes.
Right, and I remember in 2005 when I was here, it's reuniting with that host family and really celebrating with them.
There we go.
Here comes defending his title, Ben Flanagan.
He is flying, isn't he?
Welcome to the finish line. You earned it.
Celebrating a little bit, as he should, as he crosses the finish line here.
And Bias and Bassa will come in second. David Bett, who led so much of this race, is going to get third.
We'll be interested to talk to Ben after the race about his strategy there. Was that how he planned it all along? Or what happened there when he made his move?
Right, and on both sides, we kind of missed that move being made, so it was exciting to just see it pop up on our screens. It takes courage to run that way, to have a belief in your ability, and to let a 5-second gap happen like that, only to have the the courage to close that gap. It was 6 or 7 seconds long at some point, but Ben Flanagan knows this course. He used it to his advantage last year to attack the hills in the later stages of the race, and I'm willing to bet that that's what happened here today. He waited to the last hills when everybody else was fatigued to
That's when
drop
you're
the
talking
hammer.
about that 70%, 80%. You have a little left in the tank, and then you decide, okay, it's time to go.
Playing with it, but for the tactics that Ben Flanagan, our champion, used today, that takes a lot of belief in your ability.
Now, we are looking at the elites, but if you had any doubt about the heat or the temperature playing a role here, you see just how hot they were. Some getting a little bit of look by medical care as they cross the finish line. Really a great day to run here, and you're seeing more of the elites cross the finish line here.
Yes, that's Mason Furlick, Olympian. So again, it's just a great field to be able to conquer. Ben Flanagan missed out on making the World Championships team 2 years ago, or this year. He missed out on the Olympic team last year, and said that this race, defending his title, was such a focus coming in because he didn't have those other distractions. And he sure put on quite a show today.
So now we have an elite women's winner and elite men's winner. Any surprises from what you saw on the course today?
No surprises on the winners, and it could have been anyone's race out there. The competition was so deep, and it could have been anyone's race today. But to see the American record holder in the marathon, Kira D'Amato, make a late move in the race for her first victory here, and to see Ben Flanagan come out and defend his title, it was a good morning so far.
So all those people who have lined the course really got a treat today when they see all these runners come and really giving it their all as you take a live look just past the finish line here.
Ben Flanagan getting encouragement, high fives from the crowd. He's become quite a celebrity here, but he actually met his fiancée Hannah here in Falmouth. Hannah is a native of Falmouth, and so they'll be celebrating a wedding coming up within the next year. Magic happens here.
A lot to celebrate, a lot to celebrate here on the Asics Falmouth Road Race here as we continue to watch people cross the finish line here, racing down that hill after 7 miles of iconic route here. What are you looking for when we talk about just having fun out here for all those people who decided to train this summer, spend this summer coming here, and then spend this weekend here in Falmouth? It really is a special weekend. And all of those recreational runners also get the same treatment as the elites.
Right, and for anybody here, it's a celebration. If you live here, you take pride in what Falmouth is and what it offers all these people visiting from really around the world. And if you're a runner here, you are just basking in the treatment and walking Main Street and shopping and really making an economic impact on the community, but really immersing yourself in the community. And it's beautiful in that regard. And then, as we spoke earlier, the volunteers having ownership in this race, really taking pride in making sure this is a first-class, world-class event that happens year after year. There's, it's not coincidental that it's so celebrated around the world when we talk about top 5 races in the world, top 5 places to go in summer. This is on that list because of this race.
Not to mention, of course, we don't need to talk about the past couple of years, but everyone's life's changed, of course, during the pandemic. To see this race come back full throttle to what it was right before really did not miss a beat when we talk about this race compared to 2019, 2018, et cetera.
Right, and I think there's just an energy of being back, right? It's extra special. Not only are we celebrating the 50 years and Tommy Leonard having this extraordinary vision so long ago, but really every year making it better and better and better, and to be able to be back and to be on the streets racing, which is what the pros love to do, but to also be able to showcase Falmouth in the way it so much deserves is also really special.
So we continue to take a live look at the course and the fans who have gathered here along the route. It really is something when we talk about everyone that makes this a point of the summer. Obviously, it's the summertime. A lot of people have plans. People are going back to school soon. But everyone marks this on their calendar early on as a weekend to stay in town and a weekend to come down to Falmouth.
It is. It's like summer's last hurrah, but it doesn't feel like it's ending with how warm it is today. Ben Flanagan's making his way down, getting high
talk about
fives
a fan favorite here
from the crowds. just a great way to celebrate a tough effort this morning. He really runs smart. I think that's his secret weapon.
Look how
is
much
just
energy he
smart
has.
running.
He just won a 7-mile race and he's still bopping around, hopping up and down, talking to people.
I would think if his tactics didn't work in his favor, he'd be a little more tired. But we talked so much about Tommy Leonard and his vision that he had as a bartender here, the inspiration watching Frank Shorter. 50 years, we're celebrating 50 years of Title IX, 50 years of the Asics Falmouth Road Race, 50 years of Frank Shorter's gold medal. Frank Shorter is a longtime resident of Boulder, Colorado, is now a resident of Falmouth. So this is what this race does. Frank's win inspired Tommy Leonard to bring a race of this caliber. Started with just 93 people, and it now capped at 10,000, but also recognizing the Shermans and the Carrolls who really have dedicated themselves to making this race what it is today.
You don't get to this race and this iconic route and everything that happens on accident. Obviously, it takes a lot of people working around the clock 365 days a year to make something like this happen.
Yeah, and so many of us can have visions of hosting great events, but I think it takes a lot of courage to see that vision through, and that's what this race has done year after year, is just courage to keep pushing the limits. It is not just a road race, it is so much more. And for those of you who are visiting Falmouth for the first time, I hope you could feel that connection and all that so many people have worked for over the years.
For you, how does it feel to have road races back, to have the crowds back, to have full fields back?
So great, and I really do think that it's an enhanced version of what it's ever been, because nobody will take this for granted again. We're not going to take eating out for granted. We're not going to take racing for granted. Luckily, exercising was essential during the pandemic, but not in groups, not how we thrive as people. We're social beings, so to be back and be able to share this in so many ways with our loved ones and friends and competitors is really a fantastic place to be, here to celebrate today, 50 years, but just being back and at it.
Should we celebrate some winners?
We should celebrate.
All right, let's go.
Check, check, 1, 2. All right. We're down now here at the award ceremony area. We're going to begin our award ceremony for our wheelchair athletes. First up, we want to talk to legendary wheelchair athlete Craig Planchette. Craig, give us a little bit of recap on today's race.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race, hot race, not only with the temperature, but also with the performances today. Susanna set a course record, I think 45 seconds, something like that. Put on a clinic, quite frankly. I think it was a 4-minute gap between first and second. And Daniel missed the course record, 22nd or something like that. But wow, what a smoke session today.
And talk about, again, a little bit about those two top athletes. I mean, obviously, amazing athletes on the scene now in the sport of wheelchair racing.
Yeah, it's what's interesting is Susanna's in some races she's finishing ahead of the first male wheelchair racers, and so that's pretty fantastic. She's really dialed it up to a whole new level. Watching her out here, it's graceful, it's amazing, it's really just a treat to watch them. And of course, Daniel's poetry in motion. You just see him going out there and just really rewriting all the rule books, all the record books everywhere.
We talk about the wingspan of Daniel Romanchek. This is absolutely amazing. Once again, thanks for having you here. Thanks for the recap, Craig. Let's get on to the award ceremony for these three fine ladies. Again, what a great race. These ladies were out at the mile race last night. They came out today and put on quite a clinic. Let's welcome up to the stage your third place finisher with a time of 30:05. Give it up for Yen Wang. Presenting our awards here, Scott Gelfie, president of the Falmouth Roadrunners, Falmouth Road Race. And in second place, the legendary Tatiana McFadden in a time of 30:05 as well. They must have been just separated by hundredths of a second. And your champion here today, as Craig mentioned, in a time of 25:30, breaking the course record by 45 seconds. Give it up for Susanna Scaroni. We've got our three top finishers up here with Spalding, representatives from Spalding. Congratulations. Okay, we're gonna now have our ceremony for our men's race, men's wheelchair race. Okay, we're gonna have our men come on up here. In third place with a time of 25:30. Get up for Alexandre Dupont. Alexandre also did the mile race last night. And in second place with come on, stay back up here. And in second place with the same exact time as well, with a time of 25:30, Herman Garrick. And your champion of the 50th Asics Falmouth Road Race wheelchair division in a time of 22:02, just missing the course record, the one and only Daniel Romachuk. Once again, your top three men in the wheelchair division. Down here at the award ceremony with our two champions, Susanna and Daniel. Susanna, talk us through the race a little bit, how things unfolded for you.
It was a very windy, hilly, sunny, tailwindy course, and so I just decided to tackle every part as best as I could, and that's what I did.
You recovered pretty well after yesterday's mile race. Do you feel pretty good this morning?
Yes, I did. I felt great, slept well, and was excited. We had great crowds on the course to keep us motivated.
And Daniel, obviously, you dominated, absolutely fabulous time. You again also won the mile last night. You came out here and won the race. Did the strategy unfold the way you expected?
Yes, pretty much just go out and see what I could do this morning. And so yes, I think similar to Susanna's, just go out and beautiful morning, and so overall great day.
You just missed the course record by a few seconds there. Hopefully we can have you back next year to take another crack at it.
Hopefully.
Once again, your champions here in the men's and women's wheelchair division, Susanna Scaroni, Daniel Romanchuk, thank you.
Molly Seidel just finished, Olympic bronze medalist from Tokyo.
All right, we continue to look at the finish line here. Great award ceremony right there.
Great award ceremony and just complete domination from Susanna Scaroni and Daniel Romanchuk. It played out very differently on the men's and women's open division. And so it was just fascinating that they could win last night in their mile races, reset today, and win in such dominant fashion today without ever looking back.
And it was interesting because we've been talking strategy, but to actually hear from the winners the strategy they used today to win.
Right, and it was pretty much just grind from the start, and that's what it looked like, and that's what they admitted to, and beautiful performances. Susanna getting the course record, Daniel just shy of that course record, but I think it was his own record to break, but hopefully he'll be back to do that next year.
Amazing to see. Now we are waiting for the elite women and men in the award ceremony there. All in all, a great day.
A great day, but you see that the races play out so differently. The domination in the wheelchair events, and then Ben Flanagan and Kira D'Amato making late in the race moves in order to get their titles.
As we await the award ceremony for the
hello.
elite.
Oh, we can't take over. Ladies and gentlemen, down here at the finish line, we've got our podium finishers in the female division, beginning in third place with a time of 36:44. Former NCAA champion out of the University of Texas, a 26th in Olympian. She prepped with the 5th place finish at the BAA 10K, 7th a couple of weeks ago at the Beach to Beacon. On the podium today at the 2022 Falmouth Road Race, let's congratulate Mariel Hall. Race President Scott Gelfie doing the honors. In second place, our defending champion, one of the great champions in women's long distance running, a Boston Marathon champion, London Marathon champion, New York City Marathon champion, and twice the World Marathon champion. Second place today in 36:28, 42 years old, Edna Kiplagat from Kenya. She looks 16. And our champion. And then this really goes to show age is no number, because you got Edna at 42, our champion at 38. She's the new American record holder in the marathon from Houston this year in 2:19:12. She's the 8th place finisher at the World Championships Marathon in June, winner of the BAA 10K, 3rd of the New York City Mini, Falmouth Road Race champion in its 50th anniversary, Kira D'Amato. 36:14, her winning time. Nice job, ladies.
Awesome award ceremony right there, eh?
And great racing by all of them. I think Mariel Hall had such a fantastic race to show that she's back. She's an Olympian, an All-American, and made some big changes in life, training groups, and it's really good to see her back in her proper form. It was Kira D'Amato and Edna Kiplagat that pulled away from the pack in the final stages of the race, but a final move by Kira D'Amato up and over this hill to make it to the finish line first. Congratulations, Kira.
What's your reaction to the race times here?
You could see that it's hot. It was a hotter day, and I think that comes into play with some of the slower, shorter miles because people were trying to beat the heat, right? It's starting a little more conservatively so that the heat didn't get to them. You could see the gloss on everybody as they're filing into the finish line. Smiles on their faces nonetheless, but it is a warm day out here, and part of that strategy is being conservative enough so that there's not any problems.
All right, as we await the men's ceremony here any minute now, and we continue to take a look at the course here. Beautiful day in Falmouth, and these crowds are staying.
Yeah, the crowds out from the early hours of morning, ready to get their position right on the rails so that they could scream loudest for their favorite runner coming by. That's Falmouth fashion right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're down on the stand once again with our men's podium finishers. And we want to congratulate our 3rd place finisher, David Bett from Kenya, who on this very hot, humid day gave it everything he had, and now he's in the medical tent. So we wish David all the best, and we congratulate him. He had the lead in this race from 2 miles through 10 kilometers. and he got third place. In second place in the race today out of Flagstaff, Arizona, he was second in this race in 2021, second again in this race in 2022, third 2 weeks ago at the Beach to Beacon 10K up in Maine. This is Bia Sumbasa. 32-32, his second place time. And then our champion. He joins Bill Rogers, Gilbert O'Cari, and Stephen Sambu is the only 3 or more time champion of the Falmouth Road Race. He's being presented the trophy by his future father-in-law, Scott Gelfie. This young man from Canada was the NCAA 10,000 meter champion at the University of Michigan in 2018. He then came to the Falmouth Road Race and won it. We thought it might have been a fluke. Then he came back last year and won it again. We said, hey, that ain't no fluke. Then he won it again in 2022, taking the win in the last mile of the race, the great Ben Flanagan. 32-25.
What a great finish for Ben Flanagan.
We
We're
were
able-
wondering what might have happened there on the course. We got a little bit of news there about the medical tent.
Right, and that's where he comes into play, right? Trying to be smart, but he made an aggressive move and gapped himself, and the smarter of the pack stayed a little bit behind and a little more conservative.
Hopefully he's okay. We talk about a race time there, 32:25. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think that's fast for Ben Flanagan. He's a great tactician, the greatest the Falmouth Road Race has ever seen. He just can play that strategy into his favor.
As we see the men's and women's winners there taking a picture together. A lot of smiles there.
A lot of smiles at the finish line.
All right, down here at the finish
many
line
more to
again.
come.
I'm sorry to break into the NBC 10 live stream, but we do have we have the Countdown Challenge Championship. The elite women go off in front of the lead men by a 4-minute advantage, and then we see if the men can run them down. Well, Ben ran fast, but he didn't run Cara down, as Cara D'Amato wins the Countdown Challenge for 2022, and Scott Gelfie presents her the trophy. That's $5,000 extra for winning the Countdown Challenge, by the way, so it was worth the effort. Cara, hold on. We're talking to Cara. What was your word for that?
Awesome. I use that. Awesomeness, awesome sauce, awesome. Yeah, everything about that.
Well, you know, you've been on a roll in 2022. I mean, just a fabulous year starting with that American record in Houston. But you didn't back off. You had a couple of weeks' notice for the World Championships, and you got 8th place. If you had enough time, you would have been in it, I'm sure, for the podium. But you look pleased with your performance there, and you got to be happy even more so here.
Yeah, I'm going to go into every race trying to win it. So I didn't win Worlds, but I'm going to do the same thing next time and try to win it. So I went in today trying to win it, and it happened for me today, which is awesome. Yeah.
What did you think about the race course? This is a real road race course. Rolling for the first 3 miles, flats, then turns through the neighborhoods, challenging hill at the end, and a downhill sprint to the tape.
I feel like this road race has everything with the hills and the trees and the sand. Like, you go through all the elements, which is really fun to see. And then the crowds were incredible all through the course. People were cheering and excited. So I'll be back for sure. I'm a little, maybe I don't want to come back because I've won, I won this way, go out on a high note, but I'll definitely be back.
Well, bless your heart. We're great to see, and continued success in this fabulous year you're having.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's bring Ben in here. Ben, come in here. We're talking to Ben Flanagan. As I said, it's only the 4th man to win 3 or more Falmouth Road Race titles. And Ben, talking to your coach, Ron Warhurst, he said, and we could tell, you just look dead fit. Now, you got to tell me, the press truck left at 6 miles, and you and David Bett were still sort of fighting with one another. You made a big move between 5 and 6 to catch him and pass him, but then he responded. And I wondered, did he use up all his energy in just catching him? When did the break actually happen?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was wondering the same thing at that point. So, yeah, that race, the competitors made it as hard as possible. So we were out early, and then it took a lot of energy to catch up to David. And then when I caught up to him, I was hoping that I had the momentum, and he just clinged right on. So I had to make another big surge. And I felt like if I could get to the last hill in the lead, then I had it. But it was a grind the whole way, and the crowd really just brought me home. So it was so exciting.
As we said, you're engaged to Hannah Gelfi. You're a Falmouth resident in heart, if not more than spirit. Did you feel the crowds? Did you hear your name being called?
Oh yeah, I mean the whole way I felt all the support. I heard my name out there, which was awesome, and I knew the closer and closer I got to the finish line here, the more familiar faces I'd see. So that's what really inspired me that last mile and a half.
Well, it's great. Hopefully we'll see you up at the Crow's Nest before the day's over. Congratulations, Ben. Continued success in 2022.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Ben Flanagan now has 3 Asics Falmouth titles to his name. That is extraordinary, considering this race brings Olympians and champions, former champions, and national record holders every single year. For him to dominate out here is very telling.
Obviously, a lot of expectations leading into today. It definitely lived up to the hype. Any final thoughts?
I just want to thank everybody for sharing their morning with us here at the Asics Falmouth Road Race, and keep watching. For the next hour, you can catch your favorite runner crossing that finish line. Just a great morning. It continues to be a great morning.
Well, thank you for sharing your insight. It was really great to kind of get in the mind of the runners here as they were on the course, what they were thinking in different parts. Definitely learned a lot. Great day for running here. We're going to keep the stream up. So if you know someone running right now, they haven't crossed the finish line, they will soon. We're going to keep this up for another hour so everyone can watch their favorite runners as you take one live look there at the finish line. It's been a great day here in Falmouth. Everyone, have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Let's give it up for all these athletes. Come on in here. We want to thank NBC Boston, Eli Rosenberg, Dina Castor, Olympian, Asics athlete, for giving us some beautiful commentary during our elite athlete races. But we've got 10,000 other athletes coming on down here. They've been working hard for you, so let's keep cheering for them.
All right, Mark, let's have some fun. Let's start picking up some names.
We got Jennifer Boydston coming in from East Longmeadow. Bridget Hines from Nantucket. Welcome, Bridget. Shannon Mulvey from Kingston. We got some great athletes all coming out here from far. I saw a lot of license plates from different states coming in here. Some Canadian license plates. A lot of folks coming in, Scott, to come on this race. Jacob Baroni coming in. Daniel Goodwin, Southborough. Gina Corliss from Norwood.
Deanna Coughlin from Falmouth, Mark.
Scott Lawrence from Falmouth. So Scott, this is absolutely such a beautiful day. We had such amazing races up front with some of these athletes. Could you expect a better 50th anniversary for the Falmouth Road Race?
Absolutely not. It's like a carnival right now.
And you got yourself some free sunglasses.
Hey, how about that?
We'll get those back to them. Again, we want to thank all of the support on here, all of the public safety, all of our volunteers, our sponsors, our title sponsor, Asics. We look forward to many, many more wonderful years. Again, this is being road race. Results are on the RTRT app, as well as photos afterwards from Marathon Photos. We got race day runner goodie bags for all these runners coming in as they cross the finish line. We're going to thank our official supermarket sponsor, Stop and Shop, handed out by Falmouth band parents, over 50 volunteers strong.
Just had Mary Ryther from Falmouth, class of 81, just finished.
And I mentioned, Scott, all these volunteers out here, over 2,000 volunteers, absolutely cannot do this event without them.
So, Mark, I just got where we had 8,700 starters today.
8,700 starters, that's a pretty good attrition amount, as they say. How many signed up? 10,000, 8,700 starters on this beautiful day here, celebrating the 50th Asics Falmouth Road Race. Want to make a special shout out to two Falmouth men who are running here today. They've run every single Falmouth road race since 1973. Hats off to Tom Bradley and Brian Salt for an amazing streak and dedication to this event. As we continue to welcome athletes coming on in here. Nolan Lombard coming in, Mary Kuzak, Daryl Wright from Berkeley coming on in, Sarah Dunn from Weymouth, Emily Davis from West Hartford, Connecticut, welcome. Let's keep cheering for them, folks. Come on now. Timothy Marks, Pat Green from Mashpee, Leah Murphy from Boston, Jason Miller coming all the way up from Chevy Chase, Maryland.
We got Cam Panapinto from Falmouth.
As you're coming across that finish line, put your hands up in the air. We got Marathon Bowling taking photos. You want to get that money shot? Raise those hands, celebrate. You earned it. Enjoy it now. Nice downhill stretch. Catch your breath. Get those hands up in the air. Enjoy it. Wave to the fans. Finish nice and strong. Way to go.
Oh, we got the medical ready. Medical team, medical team.
We got a great medical staff out here, Scott, taking care of these athletes. It is getting warm out here. These athletes are working really hard. But if they do have any troubles, we have an amazing medical staff here just be on the finish line, taking care of our folks. That's right. Get up, get up, get up. Aaron Foundation coming in. Thomas Goldberg. Audrey Bowman from Camden. Jack Whalen from Northeastern. Robert Schrader from Woods Hole.
go, Mark.
I tell you what, even just standing up here, you can see how steep that hill is. I don't know if it's an enjoyable downhill or if it's a hurt downhill in the race.
It's a welcome downhill.
I guess it's better than going downhill. Let's put it that way. You want to make sure after this race, you want to stay a little bit longer afterwards. Head on over across the street to Shipwreck for the post-race outdoor beer garden bash. Make sure you bring your ID and cash with you. We'll have a big party over there. You can also head over to Sopranos Casino by the Sea. Grab a seat on the deck for a classic Italian cuisine. Get some of those carbs back in after this race. Jordan Hurley coming in from Boston.
We got Jan Burton from Falmouth. Jan Burton.
Jennifer Gould from Watertown.
Jeff Benjamin from New York City.
That's it, that's it. Enjoy. Let's put a smile on your face as you're coming in. Finish line's right here. Get your hands up in the air. Get that photo for marathon photo. Of course, want to thank all the spectators that came out here today to support today's event. Oh, that's how you cross the finish line. Nice. That's it, that's it. Celebrate, you're here, you did it. You completed the 50th Falmouth Road Race presented by Asics. Welcome, welcome.
We got our local Dina Pandil, who's one of our volunteers, just finishing. Congratulations, Dina.
Of course, we want to thank the town of Falmouth for its support, the select board, Department of Public Works, Falmouth Public Schools, Falmouth Chamber of Commerce, Recreation Department, Board of Health, the churches and families and businesses along the course. The way back each year.
Get away, James.
Oh, we got a duo coming in. Hey!
Rachel Gilbert from Falmouth just crossing the line. Oh, strong finish by Luke. We got another duo, Mark. Strong finish.
All right, lots of great athletes coming in. Lindsay Smith from South Boston. Katie Ryan from Marshfield. Emily Mabrino from Orleans. Welcome, welcome to the finish line. Congratulations. 7.1 miles, beautiful weather. Get your hands up. Put a smile on your face. Enjoy the success. You got the crowd cheering for you. We got all these wonderful spectators out here today. Another duo team coming on in here. Great job.
Great to see everyone having so much fun out here.
Folks coming across hand in hand.
Get away, John. Get away.
People kicking on in. Some of these folks got a little bit too much energy at the end. But that's it. You're doing great. You're doing great, Sarah Mark.
major sponsor of the race. Thank you, Laura, and congratulations.
David Coots from Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania. Elizabeth Brown coming in from Chatham. Coleman Hill. Andrew McGill from Boston. Great job, Andrew. That's it, folks. Let's keep cheering. We got lots of runners out here still. Come on in. If it worked for you, you can work for them. Pamela Parker. Dan Hennessy. Running for the Brian Aneurysm Foundation. Come on in. Michael Fucci from Falmouth. Great job, Michael. Rebecca Smith from Quincy. Griffin Collins from Reading. Lisa Burgess from Framingham coming through. Brian Barboza. Bridget Olson from Hingham. Great job, folks. Get your hands up in the air. Celebrate with a big smile. Make sure you take advantage of that photo opportunity at the finish line as you cross here at the 50th Asics Falmouth Road Race. Again, we mentioned a lot of sponsors out here, especially our title sponsor, Asics. I want to thank CBS Health, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, and the Jimmy Fund, Stop and Shop, Yasso, Spalding, Falmouth Hospital, Cape Cod Coffee, Uppa Baby, SBLI, Cape Cod Radio. Of course, we had our friends from NBC earlier in the broadcast, Premier Motors, Penske, C2 Capital Advisors, a lot of great folks out here supporting this wonderful event today. Hannah Price coming through. Tom Dan from Hiram. Kelsey Nestro from Alston. Come on, let's see some smiles on those faces. You earned it. Ready to go, hands up. Celebrate. Michael Gray coming on in from Sudbury. Sean Doherty from Falmouth. Got another duo team coming on in here. Good job.
We got Dana Panapinto from ALS1 in Falmouth. That away, Dana. Congratulations.
Julie Gregory running for Recovery Without Walls coming through. Mark Eggerman from Falmouth. Chloe Falls from Franklin. Great job, folks. Beautiful day out here today for the race. So glad you could join us. All the folks out here cheering for you. Laura Payne. Arthur Bosselman coming through. Next Zinda, Timothy Dalton from Westwood. Catherine Hannon running for the Boston House. Brian Colba from Falmouth. A lot of local Falmouth residents running today's race. Gotta be a part of the 50th.
We have Andrew Kelly from Falmouth. Mom Karen is over in the VIP tent. Congratulations, Andrew.
So Scott, I don't know, have we heard anything about maybe Frank or Bill or any of our legends out there racing today? Joan?
I do know Joni finished.
Joan finished?
She finished while we were having our awards. I know Molly Seidel finished. We're still waiting on Frank and Billy, I'm pretty sure. I haven't got notification on their result yet. We do have Falmouth favorite Jack Carroll here.
I know that
I know Jack's up to close to in his 40 number of runs here.
Wow.
So congratulations, Jack.
I think I was talking to Joni last night about her going after maybe the 65 and older record. We were trying to figure out what that time was. So we'll try to get word of how close she got to it today. That's right. Welcome, welcome ensure a nice, safe race experience for all of our athletes. Jamie Powers coming through. Olivia Decker from Marlboro. Megan Kelly running for Johnson Diabetes Center is coming on through. A lot of great charities out here. 5.7 million, I think, was the last number that we got for money raised. Absolutely amazing to have all of these charities part of this amazing event. Aaron Katz and Allison Katz coming through here. Give it up for the Cats. There you go. That's it. Arms up, smile up. Get that photo out. Got a marathon photo here, taking photos of you folks. Make sure you look good. Come across the line. Give us your best stride. Andrew Kelly from Ashby coming through. Megan Cooper. Nick Albini. Jennifer Gillis running for St. John Paul Catholic Academy. Matt Sweet from Newburyport coming through. Great job, Matt. Emily Mullane. Michael Doolin running the road to responsibility. Good job, guys. Come on now. Finish up. Let's hear it. They want to hear it. Keep cheering. We got the young ones here, too. Mark Cost. Cameron Fraser coming through. Jay Payne from East Falmouth. All these runners, they took off in waves at the start line. They have the chip times on the back of their bib numbers, giving them their official times. Those will be posted later on the website. Got this beautiful live stream up here from NBC up on the Jumbotron. They're live streaming still. We welcome all of these fun runners for the 50th Asics Falmouth Road Race. Give it up. David Higgins, Connor Richard, Rick Lockhart running for Beat Childhood Cancer. Timothy
Patricia Cosgrove of Falmouth. Give it up, Patty. Come on.
Keith Sherman from Dartmouth. Aaron Strader from Boston. Welcome. Oscar Dirks running for Dana Farmer coming through. Good job, Oscar. Get your hands up there, Oscar. Come on, I see you. There you go. James O'Connor from Falmouth. Peter George running for Team Impact. Great organization. Tracy Bushy coming in. Whitney Wood from Falmouth coming through. Wes Perry from Arlington. Emily Harris. James Wood from Falmouth. Elizabeth Webb running for Nant. Heroes in Transition. Come through here with Ryan Gaff. Great job, Ryan. We were talking to the whole country yesterday at the Expo about that great organization, Heroes in Transition. Military marchers out there run races with full packs on them. Doing a great job out there. It's great to hear from Nicole about that whole organization, how it started running from ground zero up here to the Cape. Got tons of recognition from some of the local community. Decided to create more relays. Once again, look that up, Google that. Heroes in Transition. Great organization. Megan Lauren coming through. Tom Pastore from Boston. Great job. Tom Levy from Boston coming through. Caroline Hayes from Medway. There you go, folks. Come on in. Put your hands up. Sprint to the finish. Smile on your face. Get that photo. We love it. We had some great finishes up front. Early today, just another great shout out to our champions. Susanna Scaroni, Daniel Romacek on the wheelchair side. Defending champion Ben Flanagan once again wins. And of course, our new record, American record holder of marathon and recent 8th place finisher at the World Championship Marathon, Kira D'Amato comes in and wins today's race, becoming the first American woman since 2011 to win the Falmouth Road Race. So big congrats to Kira. Ryan Pearn coming in through. Stacy Miller from Millis.
Mark, we have our first Falmouth finisher, Jenny Tuthill.
Hey!
Give it up for Jenny, 50 years later. Congratulations, Jenny.
From 1973 to 2022, 50 years later, we honor those work-timers. Great job, athletes. PJ Craig coming through. Abigail Magner from Cohasset. Madison Witt from Princeton, Mass. Kelly Crawford running from Dana Farmer. Kelly, where are you? Get your hand up, Kelly. Sue Ryan. Candy Coleman coming through from Nantucket. Lindsay Wagner from Lee School of Greater Boston. Love the tutus, ladies. Love the tutus. Daniel, Julie Phillips coming through from Smithfield. Molly Sheehan coming in. Diana Lawyer. Lindsay Hennessy also running for Dana Farmer. Lindsay, where are you? Nice, nice. Manny John coming in. Dan Carr from Quincy. 8,700 athletes starting today's race. We'd love to have you here. What a beautiful sight. Look at
Peter
the
Letty,
hill here.
congratulations, North Falmouth. Richie,
Seeing all these amazing athletes coming down that hill, smiles on their faces. They see the finish line. Beautiful flag draped up. Great job, great job. Michael Andrews coming through. Julia Doyle from Quincy.
Danielle Peterson from Falmouth.
Ella Alberta from Boxford.
Kelby.
That's it, runners. Cross that finish line strong. Nicole Francesca. Daniel McDonald running for ALS 1. Sean Devine.
Looks like Paul Yalis over there just finished. Congratulations, Paul.
Great job, great job. Jennifer Levine coming through, run for Last Call Foundation. Frank Albano from Falmouth. Stephanie Estrella from Falmouth. Jessica Beaver all the way from Seattle, Washington. Thanks for coming out.
Paul Gelfie from Bridgewater. Here we go, Paul.
Larry Davey from Charville. Robert Driscoll. Ron Belt coming through. Christy Jacoby. That's it. Get a smile on your face. You done it. You made it. You finished. Great job. All the way through the finish line, runners. Sean Power from Dana-Farber coming through. Sean, where are you? There you are, Sean. Get those hands up. That's right.
Timmy Lineweaver from Woods Hole. All right, Timmy, look out, somebody. Getting in some training for his next fight. I think Timmy's run quite a few, up over 40. Lori McAvoy from Falmouth. Congratulations, Lori.
That's it, athletes. Finish strong. John Hare coming through. Nicole Holt from right. Laura Ann Randall from Bridgewater. Jay Sanders. Shauna Riley coming in from Darren, Connecticut. Elizabeth Hamlet from Winthrop. Grant Bale from Dana-Farber coming through. Joe Sweeney.
Hickson just finishing right now from Sandwich.
We're going to be celebrating all day long. Make sure you join us on over here at Shipwreck for the after party. We got the outdoor beer garden bash happening. Maybe even head on over to Sopranos Casino by the Sea. Get a nice little spot. You can see it right over here. Beautiful seats along the sea there in Sopranos. Anybody out there at Sopranos? Way back. Way back from Sopranos. I can see you. Great job, athletes. Great job. Come on through. Arms up in the air. Smile on the face. Ashley Jennings coming through. Charles Bierce. Benjamin Hickson.
All right, we have one of our sponsors, Chris Montrose from CVS Health and Aetna. Congratulations, Chris. Looking good. Rocking the do-rag.
Wow, just coming in droves and droves of athletes. What a beautiful sight, looking up the hill there, seeing them all come down. They know they're about to cross the finish line. They're happy. We're happy. Ashley Jennings coming in.
Oh, Mary O'Brien crossing the finish line from East Falmouth, all the way from Utah right now, though. Congrats, Mary.
Just want to throw out this time a couple more sponsors helping out with today's event. Cave Gold Medal Bakery, the hot dogs and buns, Boston Beer, Truly and Sam Adams Wicked Easy, Northeast Beef, Poland Spring, and Gatorade. Keeping all of us hydrated out here today. Cook Perfect, Rockland Trust, Camp, Captain Kidd, Xfinity Comcast Business, Untapped, providing all the energy, Maple Waffle. Aloha Bars in Stonyfield. Again, I mentioned Marathon Photos out here taking photos. Josh Wines. H.A. Leo Crane for hanging that beautiful flag just before the finish line. Reliable Eternity. Little Leaf Farms, Olivia's Organics, Kins, and the Gilded Oyster, who made the jewelry that were given the winners. Beautiful, beautiful awards that we gave our top athletes there earlier. All the athletes themselves were admiring them. But again, I mention all those names because we cannot do it without the support of all these great sponsors.
Dana Ferris from Falmouth just crossed the finish line. Congrats, Dana.
That's right, athletes. Come on down that hill, cross that finish line, and be proud of yourselves. You worked hard. It's warm out there, but the finish is right here. We got water, we got Gatorade, we got all kinds of stuff. We got post-race parties. We're ready to celebrate you.
Mark, I just got word that Brian Salzberg, one of the only two people to run all 50 Falmouths, is nearing the finish.
He's coming on down, you say?
Look for the big beard.
John Williams coming in. Idaho Iglesias. Ellie Foley worked for Beat Childhood Cancer. Howard Gilmore.
Chris Lepert from Falmouth. Congrats,
Marissa Kenny coming in, running for Dana-Farber. Marissa, where are you? There you go. Great job. Thanks for coming out. Nora Simpson coming through. Maura Flanagan. Juliana Brown running for Buzzards Bay Coalition.
Just got word Frank Shorter passed the 6-mile mark, so he's on his way.
So we're just a couple of miles away from the legendary Frank Shorter, pretty much one of the godfathers of this race. Frank Shorter passing the 5-mile mark. We will welcome him with open arms.
Dan Webb, congratulations from Falmouth, old classmate. Alex Kahn from Shipwreck. Give it up for Alex. Congratulations, Alex. Maura. We got Maura Aldrich. Congratulations.
Christine Cronin coming through. Jerry Plain from Huntsville, Alabama. Welcome. Katrina Baker. Kelsey Rigby from East Falmouth. Great job. That's it, runners. Use that downhill, coast on in. You're right there. Kick it in, kick it in. Smile for the cameras. John Stanley. Richard Smiley running for ALS 1. Great job, Richard. You know, Scott, I got my binoculars here, and I'm looking up at the top of the hill. There's just so many athletes coming in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see Frank, so hopefully you'll catch him down there on the road.
I'm looking for him. I'm looking for him. I'm trying to get updates as well. Mark, do we know how many Falmouth Frank has actually run?
Say that again, Scott?
Do we know how many Falmouth Frank has actually run?
That's a good question.
I mean, he's got to
we'll
be
try
up
to get
over
that
40.
information. He's been running a lot of them, especially lately. He's like fine wine. Coming to a great age right now for Frank. Maybe when he crosses, we can get him back over there, Scott. You can have a chat with him, find out how many he's run. Emily Bloomberg coming through. William McDermott. Judy Powell running for Genesis Clubhouse. Jess Gallagher from Natick. Leslie Norris from Falmouth coming in. Stephanie Hubble coming in. Chelsea Roundtree from Falmouth. William Murphy from Plymouth. We got William Murphy and Michelle Murphy. There you go, the Murphys coming in.
We got Sarah Vokey from Falmouth and the University of Massachusetts. Sarah, don't be late for work.
That's it, that's it. Get to the finish line. We're here to welcome you with open arms. Great job, athletes. Let's keep cheering for them, folks. Come on now.
I think we got Maddie Crapo right there. Maddie from Salve Regina and East Falmouth. Congratulations, Maddie.
Again, we're hoping to get sight of the legendary Frank Shorter. Should be coming in the next maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so.
He's at 6.5, Mark.
6.5, so about a half mile, a little over a half mile to go. Great job, ladies and gentlemen, coming on in here. Edward Martin, Brooke Kramer, Adam Thorpe coming through, Kathleen Dalton, Adrian Thorpe, Adam and Adrian Thorpe, way to go.
Here we go with Bill Higgins, Falmouth Road Race historian. Bill Higgins, congratulations. Bill's been associated with this race from the start. Congratulations. Let's keep our eye out for Frank. We know he's close. Getting word. He crests the hill.
That's it, folks. Keep cheering for them as they're coming on in.
Frank's got to be pretty close.
Well, Scott, I got eyes on the top of the... Hopefully we'll get a side of Frank as he come on down. Don Petro coming through. Eric Peterson running for Teddy's team. Dennis Gallagher from Bridgewater. Kelly Collins. Lots of great runners coming through here. Michelle Saunders, William Caddy, Cara Delaney, Elizabeth Nicholas, Deborah Oates from North Falmouth coming through. Allie Luthman running for Brigham. Blair Brown running for Dana-Farber. Great job, Blair. All right, Scott, I see Frank. He's on his way down the hill.
All right, take over, Mark.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to have the legendary 1972 gold medalist in the Olympic Marathon, silver medalist in 1976, one of the founding fathers of the Falmouth Road Race, coming on in here with the blue hat. Give it up for Frank Shorter! What a legend in the sport. We're so honored to have Frank back here, crossing the finish line right now. Give it up for him, folks. Great job, Frank. Always great to have him out there, Scott. Jenna Rogers coming in. Arbor Bradshaw.
Yeah, Mark, there's got to be another word besides legend to describe Frank. Something up above.
I tell you what, I was living in Boulder and training in Boulder, and we used to see Frank running around, and all of us young guns would just look at him and just go, wow, what that guy has accomplished and what he means to the sport. It was just truly inspiring.
Incredible.
Sandra Nolan coming through from East Falmouth. So I guess now the next one up would be Billy, right?
I think we missed Billy.
We missed Billy?
I think we missed him.
Bill Rogers, again, another great legend out here.
Billy was a little too quick for us.
Billy was a little too fast for us yet again. So great to have all of those legends a part of this amazing weekend. Joan Benoit Samuelson, Bill Rogers, Frank Shorter, Craig Virgin joined us last night for the Asics Falmouth Track Festival. So great to have his insight for some of the young athletes, even some of the current athletes.
Yeah, Mark, Billy ran 67 minutes.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
So we just weren't ready for him.
Do we have a time for Joni? Richard Schwam coming in, running for Newton Athletics Unlimited. Melissa Anderson from East Falmouth. Emma Berry from Falmouth. Great job, one and all. Still got lots of runners out there coming on in, finishing the 50th Asics Falmouth Road Race.
Mark, I just got word that Joni ran 48:45. That's
48:45.
Sub 7-minute pace.
Wow.
Unreal. I know she was trying to break the 10K road record here.
Delaney Burke coming in, Nicole Keller, Karen Olson, James Young, Pamela Falcone, Megan Becker, Matt Howe, Elisa O'Neill running for Hospitality Homes, Matt Cox coming in for Dana Farber. Christy Altman. Aaron DiPastano coming in. Great job, Aaron. That's it, runners. Finish strong. You did it. You made it. You finishing. You're finishing the 50th Asics Falmouth Road Race. Great job. Welcome to the party. Head on over to Shipwrecked. Get hydrated. Get some Poland Spring. Get some Gatorade. Fuel up. Morgan Allen from Hopkinton coming in here. Elizabeth Day from Falmouth. Corey Dubuque from North Falmouth. Great job, one and all, one and all. So great to be here on this beautiful day. Andrew Winters from Falmouth. Frank Arena coming through, running for Michael Winslow. Dennis Rogers from Sharon. Bob Martin from Woburn. Michelle Grab from Hingham. Rachel Mack running for New England Hemophilia Association. Great job, Rachel. Savannah Cooper, welcome Savannah to the finish line. Melissa Murphy running for American Cancer Society. Kelly Barrows from Bridgewater, Mass. Once again, an absolutely fabulous race put on by our good friends at DMSE. Dave McGilvery and his crew out here put it on yet another fabulous race. John Millen coming in from Louisville, Kentucky. There you go, John. Welcome. And we said Louisville.
We got Lauren Gelfie. We got Jimmy Bumpus. And last but not least, we got Gail Gelfie. Go get that medal, Gail. Put it around your neck.
Great job all the way through. Congratulations, you made it.
Caroline Baker from New York and Falmouth. Congratulations, Caroline.
Ray Cabrera coming through, running for Mental Health Collaborative. Allison Craig from Situate. Robert Soldani from Tewksbury. Great job, everybody. You made it. You're finishing. It's right here. You can smell the finish line. Felix Maldonado running for Stride from Chelsea. There you go, athletes. Come on in here. Finish strong. You've made it. Ed O'Neill. Big happy birthday to Marlene Nafronsky. Great job. 50 years old today. Marlene, great job. Welcome, welcome. Happy birthday. 50 on 50. Shauna Walsh coming through. Michael Osborne running for Clark School for Hearing and Speech. Great job, Michael. Michael Sanchez running for Dana-Farber coming in. Sean Healy from Dana-Farber. Jessica Stable running for Heart Warrior Foundation. Great job. Great job, Jessica. Way to go, athletes. Come on, all the way through. Let's finish strong now. Dan and Bonnie O'Neill. Way to go, folks. coming in strong together. Megan Burns bringing Boston to Brockton. Great job, Megan. Anthony DeVito from Waltham coming through. Caitlin Moffitt, Stefan Bardner, Erica Shear running for Why-Me and Sherry's House. Rob Conlon coming in. Malcolm Smith from East Falmouth. Great job, folks. Hey, I saw that guy at Dunkin' Donuts this morning. I saw you at Dunkin' Donuts, sir. Up here, the other way, look left. Look behind you. Look behind you, up here. Like this way. I saw you at Dunkin' this morning. There you go. Kelly Millen coming in from Bristol, Connecticut. Liz LaPrada from Arnold, Maryland. Great job, runners. Still got a few runners out there on the course, finishing up this 7.1-mile course, nice and strong. The only difference between first and last is just a bit of prize money. Otherwise, everybody's doing their thing out here, running 7.1 miles, celebrating the 50th Asics Falmouth Road Race. Kathleen Young, Alan and Deborah Kirkwood. There you go. Finishing together. Love to see it. Don Martinson. Gary and Joan Epler. Where are you? There you go. Great job. Coming across. There you go. Welcome, welcome, Gary and Joan. Ashley Rogers coming in. Tamar Levy from East Falmouth. Matt Neal running for Spina Bifida Association of Greater New England. Julianne Townsend running for Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Great job, Julianne. Way to go, runners, way to go. You're almost there. Lindsay Glimpse coming through. Heidi Berry from Quincy. Tammy Redder running for Soccer Without Borders. Aaron Fitzgerald from Falmouth. Barbara Fitzgerald. Where's Aaron and Barbara? There you go. Welcome, welcome. Hey! What is up? Wellesley High School in the house. Megan and Michelle Gaffney, where are you, Megan and Michelle? I see you. There you go. Nice job. Welcome to the finish line. Way to go. Kathleen Cobb from Franklin. Elizabeth Duff. Ashley Tryon running for Tommy's Place. We love Tommy's Place. Abigail Weber running for Duffy Health Center. Great job, Abigail. coming through. Teresa Colin. Paul St. Pierre from Bellingham, Mass. Good job, Paul. Carol Grotto from East Falmouth. Terrell Byrne from ALS 1. Great job, Terry. Just a couple hundred more runners to go here in the 50th Asics Falmouth Road Race. If you're still here at the finish line, we want to hear you keep clapping for these runners coming in. To welcome Jason Robbins, running for the ALS Association. Naomi DeSantis, running for the Heron Project. Michael Constantine running for ALS 1. Lori Papa coming through from Hull. What an amazing weekend we've had. We started off with our expo opening up. Some amazing VIPs, race legends. Had the SBLI Family Fun Run on Saturday morning. Joined my fellow announcer, Stephen Fiskelli, who set folks off this morning at the start line. Had a great panel with Dave McGilvery, Nicole Spencer, representing Heroes in Transition. Got to interview Ben Flanagan, who knew he would come out here once again and win the race. I'm sure some people knew. He was in good shape. Had those amazing mile races last night. And then a beautiful day today to wrap up the weekend. The 50th Asics Falmouth Road Race. Catherine Nolan coming in, along with Nancy Nolan. Where's Catherine and Nancy? Great job, ladies. Crystal McDonald running for Dana-Farber. Great job. Peter and Joanne Caratelli, where are you? There you go. There's some smiles. You've made it. Great job. Krista Allen. Sarah Peck running for Dana-Farber. Great job, Sarah. Still got lots of athletes coming on in here. Great job, everybody. Liz Wood running for Genesis Clubhouse. Tom Austin from Falmouth. Christine Ryan running for Mass General. Great job, folks. Still coming on in here. Chelsea Weir running for Ellie Fund. Way to go, folks. We will be here for each and every runner as they come through, including Melissa Hennessy, running for Road to Responsibility. Deborah Doherty, running for Recovery Without Walls. Meredith Harris coming in now. Great job, Meredith.
Bruce Kidd
Welcome, Denise. Norman Chester is coming across the line. Kathleen Hammerstrom. Christy Pimentel. Great job. Out of Buzzards Bay. Kate and Esme Mild. Was that you? There you go, coming across. Uh-oh. I'm sure you let her beat you there. That's a good mom letting SMA beat her there. Kelly Ernest from Compassionate Care ALS coming in all the way from Austin, Texas. Great job. So as we get ready to welcome our last, about 100 athletes out here, I'm joined up on stage. Gold medalist in world cross country, legendary athlete. He just took a bite of food, so I've got him on the spot. He's been around all weekend as one of our race legends. Craig Virgin, who's been around the sport for so many years. Craig, just give a recap of the weekend, all of the wonderful events that we've had.
Well, people here in Falmouth and the Cape Cod are spoiled because they see it all the time. For those of us that come in from around the country, especially those of us in the Midwest, it's just a beautiful setting. It's got to be one of the top 3 or 4 road races in America with the natural setting. I mean, how many races finish at the beach? With the ocean, you've got a good course, beautiful course, you go by a lighthouse. That's the essence of it, but always the people, and the first people you get to work with are the organizers, the volunteers, the pickup people. They do a great job of welcoming people here. They have great public relations skills. The hospitality is excellent, and so you've got the the masses, and you've got their needs to take care of, and then you've got the elite runners, and you have their needs to take care of. Falmouth has been doing this for 50 years. In that critical first 10 years, the Falmouth Road Race helped create the blueprint of how you move forward. And they were one of the big ones early. And it's a wonderful city, it's a wonderful island, it's a wonderful race. And like anything else, you can't rest on your laurels. Mark, you've got to keep improving. You've got to, I'm sure they're going to be sitting down tonight and tomorrow, and they're asking, what did we do well? What did we do, what can we do better? And they'll have a critique for the next week to say, okay, how do we make it even better next year?
Absolutely, well said. Once again, one of our race legends, Craig Virgin, joining us here all weekend long. We're so glad to have your expertise, your history in the sport. Being old and experienced, he says. We all have a little bit of that. We're so great to have Craig, have Bill Rogers, have Frank Shorter, Joan Benoit Samuelson, have all these great legends, all these great athletes, professional, all the wheelchair athletes. Again, Susanna Scaroni, Daniel Romanchek, Ben Flanagan, Cara D'Amato, Edna Kiplagat, all of these amazing athletes from top to bottom. We had amazing mile races yesterday. It was so great to see Nikki Hiltz out there winning the women's division race. They ran such a great race, such a great tactical race, really putting on a great show.